back to my channel. So today is super exciting. Okay, I have never ever had this much expensive makeup in my hands ever in my life. And I am going to be testing expensive, extreme expensive high-end makeup on one side of my face, and the other side I'm going to be doing nothing but drugstore. I don't know about you, but I think they look pretty similar except for a few little things. Just a few little things. Okay, so you guys, we are using Tom Ford, Dior, Givenchy, like super expensive, it's expensive. So I'm really excited to show you guys. I have never ever spent this much money on makeup in my life, to be honest. I want you guys to let me know which side do you think is high-end and which side do you think is drugstore. I'm gonna give you one side here. Okay, and then here's the other side. Here's both sides. Okay, now pause the video, comment below which side do you think is drugstore, which side do you think is high-end. Go ahead, I'll be waiting. As soon as I upload this video, I'm gonna check everybody's comments to see which ones you think it is. I think it's super exciting to see what your thoughts are on the makeup. My personal thoughts you will see later in this video. There's some pros and cons, and I will let you know what I think about everything in the video. But if you want to see how I got this look right here, ding ding, and see which side is really drugstore, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be a part of the quad family. And without further, I know this isn't your quad, you guys. I know it's a long story. I know this is not the quad, but we are the quad family. Only the quads get it. The few, the strong, the quads. And without further ado, let's get into this extreme high-end versus drugstore makeup tutorial. So I'm actually really excited to get into this because this is the most high-end I've ever used in my life. For the high-end side, I'm gonna use the Mr. Smooth Smoothing Primer from Givenchy. It's so fancy. I'm gonna put this on right here. This primer is pretty thick. Make sure to get exactly half of my face. Instantly, it definitely absorbs quickly. It plumps the skin. It definitely feels like a baby's butt. It's just like bouncing back. For this side of my face, I'm gonna use this primer from Rimmel. It's the Lasting Finish Primer. This primer actually feels the same on the skin. It has that thick consistency, and this is supposed to have that smoothing effect on your skin as well. So this is really crazy. It feels the exact same. Bounces back. This one doesn't absorb into the skin as quickly as this one. This one's already like gone. So there goes the primers. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the brows. The next expensive eyebrow pencil I have is from YSL. I feel so bougie right now. This is a YSL eyebrow pencil. Oh my god. I picked number 5. Has a little spoolie on the end, like that. So I'm gonna start to fill in my brows on the bougie side. The color is really nice and natural. I really like the color of this. Usually brow pencils are a little bit too warm and not ashy enough, or they're too ashy to where they're basically gray. But this one seems to match perfectly with my hair. It glides on the skin pretty nice. I really love this color. It's not just a dry pencil. It has enough waxiness to it that it will actually grab the hairs and press them in place, which is something that I really like, and I love the color of this brow pencil. It just matches my hair so perfect. This is good. I'm sad because I don't think I'm gonna buy you all the time, but you're a good one. For the more affordable side of my face, I'm gonna use the Rimmel eyebrow pencil in the shade dark brown. So I'm gonna just go in there and start to fill in my brows. This one is a little warm. It looks a little red. This one isn't waxy, but it's very smooth. It's not gonna hold your brows in place, but it'll definitely fill them in. Totally different brow colors, completely different. I definitely see the difference. This is definitely not a dupe because of the waxiness, and I feel like this feels like it's gonna stay in place. This one is just hanging out. For the high-end version of my face, I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. We all know this is a good one. This is in the shade 5.75. I'm gonna take some on the back of my hand and use my beauty blender. Start to work that on my face. I like the formula. It's really lightweight, it's creamy, and it just sits really nice on the skin. I feel like this foundation is good for like a day or nighttime kind of look, and just wear a light layer and you'll be good for the day, and it just looks natural and pretty. Or you can build it up with a beauty blender and really pack it in to the skin and get more of a medium coverage. I think this is such a beautiful, creamy, lightweight foundation. I can't say any more about it. You guys know it is so good. I'm gonna use the Infallible Pro Glow from L'Oreal. This is supposed supposed to give you that luminosity as well. So I'm going to try this on the back of this hand. And instead of using a beauty blender on this side, I'm going to use an e.l.f. sponge. Let's see how that looks for us. I could see why they're calling it a glow, because obviously it gives you that luminous, dewy look. But I don't think this will work for everybody, especially if you have textured skin like mine right here. It kind of accentuates everything. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadow palette that I picked up, that is Highend. This is the most expensive eyeshadow palette that I've ever bought in my life. All of these products are the most expensive products I've ever bought in my entire life. Woo. I bought the Natasha Denona palette, and this is the purple and blue eyeshadow palette. It is so expensive. It's $230 something. It has the names of the shades on this little paper, and these are the eyeshadows. I've swatched a lot of them, and they are so freaking beautiful. Oh my gosh. They are silky, creamy, pigmented. When you swatch them, they go on so even and beautiful. I absolutely love these. Whew. With saying that, I feel like this is a lot of colors and it's almost overwhelming to look at. What do I do first? Purple, blue. The only thing about this palette, it doesn't have a transition shade in it for being so freaking expensive. There's no transition shade. I mean, you can use, there's some matte shades here, and then there's this brown, but it's not really matte, but I feel like I could still get away with it being like a transition shade. It's more of a silky kind of shadow. So I'm gonna start off with this color right here, which is Cool Plum. I'm gonna work that all over the lid up into the crease. This is just gliding on the eye so soft and smooth like butter. Oh my gosh. I don't think this palette is gonna do it for me for the crease, but I do have this one from e.l.f. It's the Aqua Beauty Palette. It looks like this. These are also super pigmented, and I definitely recommend you guys go and get this e.l.f. Aqua palette because it is extremely pigmented. You will not be unsatisfied with this palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this shade right here. I feel like that's sort of similar to Cool Plum. I'm gonna put them side by side so you guys can see what I'm talking about. These are the closest that I can get, and they both have that like satiny kind of finish to them. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a different eyeshadow brush for this eye. We're gonna go ahead and work that the same way that we did the other eyeshadow. It's not as pigmented, but it glides on the skin beautifully just like the other one. And it's a nice transition. I just think this eye is gonna look slightly different. So there is this deep plum color right here. If you haven't tried the Maybelline City Mini palettes, you definitely have to try them out. I'm gonna take this shade right here, this matte shade, and just start to work that on the crease, on the outer V of the eye. And I'm gonna make it go to a little point right here to give it more of a sultry look. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this guy out. I could see this palette is so creamy and pigmented that it may get patchy in certain spots. Like I can see it already getting a little patchy, but it is pigmented and they are creamy. There's just something about it sticking to the oil of my skin, maybe in certain areas, but it is a really nice palette. My blending brush and just start to soften out those edges. I'm gonna go on to the other eye. I'm gonna use that purple right here. I'm gonna use this little guy and work it on the outer part of the eye, bringing it in. This is gonna look a little different because it doesn't have that plum undertone. This is more of a warm brown. I definitely like the color of this one more than this one right here. Definitely looks different on the eye compared to the pan. It just looks gray, like a totally different color, almost blue, which is really interesting. So I'm gonna add more on this side now. See if that makes a difference. Totally different eye look. Completely different. It looks like I have a blue eye and a purple eye. Let's see how this ends up for us. Okay, so now for the lid, I think I'm gonna do this beautiful, beautiful color right here for the lid. So pretty. I'm gonna use that on the inner part of the lid. Let me do a close-up of it. So this one right here. And then in the Natasha Denona palette, there is this shade right here. That is kind of similar to this shade. That's the color that I'm gonna put on the inner corners. So far, they look totally different, but you know, let's see how we end up. So I'm gonna start off with the high-end side. I'm gonna take this eyeshadow brush from the Makeup Shack, the T48, and I'm gonna work that in there. Pop it on my eye. It's like a really pretty gunmetal color. I'm telling you, these eyeshadows are insane. Oh my god, if you were to go to Sephora and swatch this palette, you would fall in love. You would really fall in love and you'd be like, why is it so expensive? I was like very hesitant to buy this because it's $200 This is a $200 palette, you guys. I was very curious to see how it would compare to a drugstore brand. On the other eye, I'm gonna take and work it into that shade and start to work it on my eye. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so far it looks kind of similar, not as pigmented, but maybe it's buildable. And then I'm just going to blend out those edges so they're not harsh. So far, I'm liking this eye compared to this one, just because that plum shade kind of is not really the shade that it looks like in the palette. Okay, so next I'm going to take this gorgeous blue shade right here and I'm going to pop that on my lower lash line. I actually already started doing that, but my camera turned off out of nowhere. So I'm going to go ahead and work that on my lower lash line. I'm going to bring that all the way in. I'm going to take that crease, or the first shade we started off with as the base, and work that right underneath. And then I'm going to go on the other eye, on this side, with the Maybelline City Mini palette. I'm going to take this blue right here and pop it on this side. For the fancy side, I'm going to use the Hourglass liquid eye pen right here. And then for this side, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Voluminous Liner Noir liquid eyeliner. Let's see if they act the same. They look like this. They're the same basically. Let's see which one works better. Let me start with the bougie side. I have no complaints on this one. It works good, it glides on, it's very black, and it's really easy to work with. So since I'm not comparing lashes or mascara, I'm just gonna pop those on really quick and then, but if you wanna know which style, I already know you guys are gonna wanna know, I will always have it in the description, do not worry. But I will be back with some lashes and we are gonna go on to the rest of our face. So now I'm gonna take a black liner to the waterline. For this side, I'm gonna use the Givenchy Black Magic Kohl Liner and just place it right in that waterline. I'd have to say that this is just like a regular black pencil. It's creamy, it's pigmented, it's just like any other black pencil. I feel like you can have the same quality at the drugstore. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Rimmel waterproof black eyeliner. It takes a few more swipes, but it pretty much ends up the same. Move on to the concealer. For the concealer, I have the Guerlain, I think that's how you say it, Guerlain concealer. It is the Hydrant Multi-Perfecting Concealer in Blurring Effect. I'm all about the blurs. Go ahead and work that with my finger, which is full of eyeshadow. So, and I have this big long nail. So I'm just gonna use the smaller side of my Beauty Blender to work that into this area right here, this little tiny area. This is kind of amazing. It fills in all the creases. Also, my under eyes feel more plump and it's like instant. On the drugstore side, I'm using the Maybelline Master Conceal. I'm gonna put that on with this side, which I think is a little bit too big, but it's a little bit lighter than the other one, so this looks a little more natural. But it does really conceal the under eyes, and it's very lightweight. On this side, I'm gonna use the Dior Extreme Control powder. I'm gonna just start to work this into my skin so we can set all the creams in place. It doesn't look cakey at all. It doesn't even look powdery. And then on this side, I'm gonna use the Fit Me powder from Maybelline. Store foundations and powders are always a little off for my skin tone, so this one is a little pinky. For the high-end side, for contouring today, on this side of my face, I'm using the Natasha Denona Contouring Sculpting Powder. Looks like so. And I'm gonna use my brush right here to work that onto the face. We start like right in the hollow, really close to the ear, and then work my way upwards. This is a very natural looking contour shade for me. And then for this side of my face is the e.l.f. bronzer. So now we're moving on to the blush. I'm gonna use this Marc Jacobs one in, oh, so dirty. I'm gonna use this Marc Jacobs one in Lush and Libido. Shimmery blush. Work it right in to the temple. And this is a nice blush. It goes on really smooth. It's easy to blend into the skin and with the contour. I really like this blush. And for the other side, we're gonna use the NYX Away We Glow, and this is in the shade Crushed Rose for this side of the face. And it kind of has that sheer color to it as well. It has little tiny shimmers. Now we are going to test the highlight. My favorite part is testing highlights. So I have the Tom Ford highlight over here, the Sheer Highlighting Duo in Reflex Gilt. So this is the packaging, so beautiful. And these are the highlights. Looks like that. This is like the more pinkier shade. They are so beautiful. The golden shade right on the tops of the cheekbone. Ooh, right here and tip of the nose. It's gonna be really weird to compare on the nose. And this side of the Cupid bow, the Cupid's bow tie. I'm gonna take a little bit down here too because I'm dry. This is beautiful. Extreme high-end makeup is kind of dangerous for me because I don't know if I'll be able to get this again. Okay, for the highlight on this side, I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder in Golden Flower Crown. This is a really pretty highlight as well. Okay, we got a very extreme high. The only bad part of this is that my skin is so textured on this side, it's not gonna look the same as this side. Like, this side's pretty. This side's pretty glowy too, but doesn't look good on my skin. Now for the lips, this is Dior lip liner in the shade Jungle Brown. It's a lip liner on one side and a brush on the other. So let me just line up my lips. And then on this side, I'm gonna use the Rimmel lip liner. Okay, this is a very natural lip liner. This liner is a lot lighter. They're both pretty nice on the lips. They go on smooth and even, and it's just the color difference. I'm gonna move on to the lipstick. So for the lipstick, I have this YSL lipstick and number 70. So I'm gonna take that and work it on this side. This is the Naked Coral from Maybelline, and let's see what this looks like compared. It's a little bit brighter than the other. Pretty much looks the same. The only difference really is the color of the brow, the crease color in the eye, and then the lip color is slightly off. Everything else looks pretty much the same, except I like the foundation and the skin overall on this side. So this is the final look. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and let me know if you would actually go out and buy any of these extreme high-end makeup after watching me put it on my face and see the end result. What would you actually go and buy it? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more videos from me, I have them over to the side. Before I let you go, I want you to know that I love you so much with all my heart. Thank you for being here, supporting me and my journey. And I just want to let you guys know that you mean so much to me and I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, bye dollies!